to another video. My name is Daniel and I have put together a video just for you guys. So let's say you don't have a clue about coffee, and normally you buy a coffee at Starbucks and you will kind of want to recreate that at your outdoors when you are doing a trip. So I've been a coffee junkie since I was 20 years old, I believe, when I started in the military. And normally I got served those coffee on can, pretty bad sometimes, real bad instant coffee. So I have been, when I was outdoor, I want to recreate, I've been mostly using a titanium kettle like this, and this is normally pretty normal to bring, and you normally bring some coffee as well. So this is gonna be to represent our coffee. I actually have some coffee here as well. So we're going to recreate how much this can make, how we weigh. This is a titanium kettle, and this weighs 189 grams. With the coffee will be about 354. This is malted coffee. Recently, the years after that, because I think it's a bit too big and I want to keep it simple, I've been also, this is a gift, this is a stainless steel espresso maker that you can put on the gas stove or direct on the fire, and it works pretty simple. It's like a regular coffee can, and then you have the filter there. You put the coffee in there. It's quite similar to a normal, perhaps a bit bigger coffee filter, but then the holes are a bit bigger, so it's gonna get a bit different taste, a little bit more water-ish, I will say. This is stainless steel. And then you put this on the fire and it will drip some espresso. I have used it on this previous videos. So let's weigh this. Stainless steel. This is 550 grams, sorry. So it's actually a half kilo. Way more bigger than this. And to use this also you need coffee. This is going to go up to 700. Perhaps if you have beans as well, like I have here, coffee beans, you will need a grinder as well. So let's put the coffee grinder, 890 grams. So that's quite a lot. So it's pretty heavy to bring this, and you might get only like a double espresso from this as well. So this is my all coffee espresso, and does make really good coffee. Then recently, for the upcoming expedition, I've been trying the Aeropress GO, and this comes with its own filter. It's a bit more healthier to actually drink from this, and this is the GO version, so it's a bit smaller than the normal Aeropress GO. You can probably make espresso here too, but I haven't been able to do espresso in this kind of coffee system. But what it makes is 2 good copies or 1 copy of coffee of Americano. So if you want black coffee, this is the way to go. So this weighs on its own 333 grams, so it's about the same as this one. And then you need coffee for that as well. So it's going to be 498. So compared to this, It's a bit, just 50 grams more heavy than this. The good thing about this though is that when you boil the water, you're probably gonna need another thing to boil the water then. You don't need that in this kind. You're gonna boil the water in here, and you can also drink from this, and you can actually use this to keep the rest of the coffee waiting, or just drink it on its own there. But in my opinion, you can make iced coffee here as well, and you can make probably espresso, but I don't think this is a real good espresso maker, or I really don't know how to make a good espresso on the Aeropress GO, though I have tried. But for 2 persons, if you want a lot of coffee, and most people who like Americano, this is a great option to go. The lightest version and the best instant coffee I have ever tried is gonna be the Starbucks orange one, the Colombia. This weighs 3 grams, and you probably want to have 2 couple to have a good cup of coffee. So this is going to be very good in taste. I really recommend those. Compared to instant coffee, this is the best one I have ever tried. And it's going to be super easy. The only part is, it's going to be expensive to buy a package of 12 on Starbucks every now and then. So you should really try it, but I will not recommend. And as you see at the start of the video, I tried the mini espresso Wacaco. Let's weigh this as well. And this is 378. It's very close to this one. But here you're also gonna need either malted coffee, 544, or you're gonna need the grinder and malted beans, and then you have 716 grams. So if you want to have a pretty good espresso, in my opinion, this is the best espresso I have tried outdoors. It's better than this. It's better than trying to replicate that on the Aeropress. And it's also probably a bit better than the Via instant coffee. And you can make an espresso with this. So it actually works. This, however, is only meant for 1 person. So if the other person is very into espressos, you can probably bring this. So right now, those 2 are my favorite ultralight, I would say, espresso luxury coffee you can get. The Aeropress GO is actually pretty good. You make a pretty good filter coffee, Americano, with this, and you have the choice to try to make an espresso as well, or iced coffee. In this you're gonna get a bit small 1 person espresso, that it works pretty good. I'm not very big fan of the boop boop, and not the pressing here as well. I kind of like this version better, when you hear the sound of espresso. But I think I'm going to sell this pot because it's just too heavy, and I'm going to stick with this espresso makers and Americano makers. For the expedition I will probably use this kind. For my solo trips I will probably use the Wacaco Miniespresso. Another thing I want to point out is what kind of coffee do you use? Normally here in Norway you're probably not gonna get very good fresh coffee, even though you have a subscription. I tried the Castelo because people have really recommend that kind of coffee, and this is already grinded and it's too it's very hard, very heavy coffee in my opinion. It has a very distinct smell. I would like more natural, so I normally just buy coffee beans at this regular store, and this kind is the Evergood beans that I think goes pretty good job from Arabica, Colombia. So I think Colombia coffee beans is going to be the best thing. Now it's important though, you don't need to have a thermometer when you are outdoors, but it's important that you really get to know the sweet spot for cooking, boiling the water. And boiling the water is going to be between 90 degrees Celsius or 190 Fahrenheit or 205. So that's the good sweet spot for boiling water. If you're gonna use milk, the good way to use milk is having, in this case is the Nestlé Nido dried milk, is powder. So I have it here as well, as you can see. That's milk, and the sweet spot for milk is a bit less, is actually on the green side here, is 100 to 160 Fahrenheit. 160 Fahrenheit, and that's around 60 to 70 degrees Celsius. So for milk is a bit less than the boiling water you need to extract the aromas of the coffee bean. And it's very important because if you do it right, if you get the right bean extraction of the coffee that's gonna flow through here, you get the right aromas to the coffee. So it has to be not over boil water, because when you boil the aroma of the coffee, it's gonna if it is too hot, it's gonna destroy the aromas of the coffee bean. And when it's too low, you're not gonna extract the aromas at all, so you lose it there too. So you have to be kind of the sweet spot. And that's normally when you are outdoors, you're probably not gonna bring a thermometer. So you want that to be just before it's gonna boil. You're gonna see it's boiling some places, but it's not fast like water boiling. So just before it's boiling, it's kind of the sweet spot to extract coffee. Another thing is though that you really want that coffee. The best thing to do is to actually to bring a grinder, and this not gonna be too heavy on your side. You're gonna to have, this is a ceramic wheel that crushes the beans at normal. It's not as good as the coffee machine green that I have, but it's a bit more coarse, so probably want to do that again. Just bring it to, or just bring it. And I really like the sound of the crushing of this and kind of make of the espresso. So I think this works because it's a bit actually you can actually adjust this as well. So it's too coarse, so I think I'm going to just adjust it as well. But what you can do here is actually, you can actually bring the let's see, the beans already in the grinder. So you're gonna put the beans there, so you don't really need to, you actually prepare this in some way, and you can just bring that with you outdoors. So you're gonna have like perhaps 2 little cups for the Wacaco in this thing, and then you kind of get the fresh grinding options here, so pretty good. For tea, I'm not a very tea person. I tried many years. I have a good tea canteen. The last video that I posted earlier this week was with a very good, like, heavy tea canteen, but probably you can find very good alternatives there as well that I don't know. But yeah, this is my recommendation for making a good coffee outdoors. I'm kind of finished with this. I will probably bring this if it's gonna be a lot of people and they really don't think too much of coffee. You can serve several times from this because it's a bigger. And if only 2 persons are probably gonna bring this. And just for me, I will probably just gonna bring the Wacaco and the grinder. I hope you learned something, guys. I hope you like this video, and stay tuned because the next video, or actually while I'm posting this video, I'm gonna be heading out for the mountains. We're gonna do some training for the expedition that is coming up next year, and we'll be heading with my wife. And stay tuned for that video because I think you're gonna like it.